Okay, hello everybody. So I'm always doing these kind of off the cuff, so that's the way I like to do them. Not very much editing. So today we're going to talk about again how I'm doing on the diet, and hoping that you guys are all interested in learning how I've done what I do that works. That's allowed me to lose what I weigh 69. I weighed 69 kilos after I ate, baby. I weighed 69.85 kilos before I ate tonight.
Yesterday, before you eat, you are 67.
I was 67.85, and then I went up 2 kilos. I went up to 69.85, and then this evening, before I ate, I weighed 69.85, I think, or 69.65 kilos, and then I just weighed here. It's now well, I weighed at 7 o'clock, and I weighed 69.05 kilos.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so that's great. So I imagine tomorrow I'll be back down to 68,
68.
something like that. Because tonight was just 2 jars of sardines. Jen buys me the sardines in olive oil. It's very important that when you're eating, you cut out all of uh, your complex carbohydrates, the starchy, sugary foods, and also the seed oils. So palm kernel oil, corn oil, and a lot of these sardines are packed in these soy oils, palm kernel oil, vegetable oils, and these actually ruin your health even more than sugar. And sugar is destroying the world. It has been destroying the world for, I think, at least over 70 years. And again, with the palm kernel oils, they're worse than the sugars. And so, how I've done what I've done was I finally figured out that Dr. Atkins was pretty much right. You have to eat a really kind of a carnivore mostly diet. Now, when I started dieting here, when I got serious back in 2006, and I found out that I had diabetes and my blood sugars were over 500, they were literally off the chart. This was on my birthday, uh, 2006, because I ended up having to go into the hospital for kidney stone, and they took my blood work, and I went, "Wow, your blood work is it's terrible. It's like your hemoglobin A1C is 12.5. Your your blood sugars, my blood pressure was high." Uh, and so I went in to see my sister the next week because I think my birthday was like on a Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember. And I went in to see my sister, and she said, "Oh well, Tim, let's get you on a diet here because if we don't get your carbs reduced, because we need to reduce your carbs." She's just a general practitioner. She said, "You're going to end up having a heart attack or stroke or some kind of liver problem." And it turned out I had a really high fatty liver, anyways. I went in and checked that out a few years later. Still had a really high fatty liver. So I'd already cut out all of the Tylenol that I was taking for my headache. And I'd done that back. I had stopped doing that back in 2001 when I had these kidney stone problems. And so 5 years later, here I was, 306 pounds, 141 and a half kilos, and miserable, stressed. Pharmacy is highly stressful. I know other pharmacists can relate to this. A lot of people say, "Oh, pharmacists got it easy." It's like, no, we're constantly under the gun to produce, to get the patients in, get them out quickly, counsel them, keep all the drugs in track, keep track of all the drugs, because there's a lot of shrinkage. There's a lot of people uh, who, they get addicted to the drugs, and these are employees, and they're taking the drugs, and so it's very high stress for those of us who don't have the drug problem, but we've got a sugar problem. My problem was sugar and Tylenol. I'd given up the Tylenol, but I still had the sugar addiction. And that sugar addiction was destroying my life. Not to mention the corn oils and the vegetable oils. So I developed a diet after my sister got me on the South Beach diet, which is a protein diet with vegetables. The protein is mostly fish and eggs. It was not a really, it was a kind of a low fat diet. So it was fish and eggs, and you would replace the yolk, I believe, in the eggs because they wanted you to eat low fat. So it was low fat, low carb, and kind of high protein, which is a great diet for losing weight. And I did lose weight. Over the next 6 months, I lost from 306 pounds down to 250 pounds, which was a 56-pound weight loss. And I managed to kind of keep that off, but the diet was really difficult to follow. And so by the time my ex-wife walked out the door, September of 2008, because she was just disgusted with my health, and rightly so. Because my weight had started to creep back up over the next year and a half or so, and a couple of years, and I had gone back up to 270 pounds. So when she left, I weighed 270 pounds. This was September the 14th, and of course she left. My life was just kind of like in shambles at that point. My health, I had a chronic cough and I had high blood pressure. I had gotten rid of the kidney stones and everything, but uh, the diabetes was under control. I got my blood sugars down and everything, but the weight was creeping back on. I couldn't figure out why, and it turns out that it was because I was still eating fruit. You can't eat fruit if you're a diabetic. It's just a no-no. It's like any kind of sugar. I didn't figure that out for probably the next 15 years or so. So even though I went on a very rigid diet where I cut way back on the fruit, I was still eating fruit up until just a couple of months ago, really. Um, Actually, I haven't eaten fruit this year. When did I quit eating bananas, baby? Because
Your birthday.
on
Your last
well, and that I hadn't even eaten any fruit really for about a year before that, and so I haven't eaten fruit now.
Thanksgiving.
I ate some fruit, some bananas on Thanksgiving, and I ate some fruit on my birthday. And prior to that, I hadn't eaten any fruit for since my prior birthday. And so I haven't really eaten too much fruit for about a year and almost a half now. And what I found out was, wow, really easy to lose weight when you don't eat any fruit. But it's hard to lose weight if your fat intake is too high. My fat intake was too high. So what happens is you hit a plateau. So I had hit this plateau of about 72 kilos. It's about 155, about 160 pounds. And I'd hit this plateau, and I was ranging between, I'd range between about 150 pounds and 160 pounds, and I just couldn't seem to knock that weight down. Now I've gotten on the carnivore diet instead of a keto diet, because if you're on a keto diet, you'll get your diabetes under control, but it's really hard to get the weight down because you'll plateau. You can eat probably 3, 4, 5,000 calories a day, especially when you're intermittent fasting. But your weight doesn't you don't lose weight because your body's going to burn that excess fat that's in your gut rather than the fat that's on your body. Now, for the past 6 weeks, I've been pretty much carnivore about 4 or 5 days a week, eating keto 2, 3 days a week. And I'm going to continue doing that because I went from a high of 73 kilos down to my current weight, which is 69 kilos. Probably tomorrow will be about 68 kilos. I've been as low as in the last 6 weeks, 67 and a half kilos. And the weight just keeps coming off. And the fat on my arm here is starting to kind of loosen up. Tighten up a little bit. And one of my goals is to get down to 65 kilos and get this tightened up. So I'll let you know how that keeps going. My man boobs are shrinking, so that's good. And I wanted to let you know that this is one of the nice things about a carnivore diet. When you're eating a lot of lean meat and not eating a lot of fat 4 or 5 days a week, and you're doing the intermittent fasting, you will burn this loose skin and this fat. And that's my belief, anyways. And so I'll let you know how it's going. And again, before I finish this up, I wanted to talk to you about that threshold of indifference that everybody gets to, pretty much, where you say, I can't do it, it won't work, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the energy. Even if I do it, I'm going to probably go right back to where I was. This is all untrue. So really, you really got to, do some planning and develop a lifestyle that you enjoy doing. So you got to love the food you eat, and you got to love the way you eat. And when you realize that a lot of these little lies that you're telling yourself from that ego, that little voice inside your head that says, I can't do this, I don't have the time, you can cross that threshold of indifference with a little help, because you're not the voice inside your head. You're a human being. That's who you are. And as human beings, we all pretty much run under the same uh, genetics for human. We're species specific, and we require meat. And again, for those of you who are vegetarians, I'm going to wish you good luck, but I think you're going to have trouble uh, on a pure vegetable diet with just healthy fats like the coconut oil and the olive oil and a couple of other healthy fats. But you got to cut the vegetable oils out. You got to cut all the sugary stuff out. And if you're not getting protein in, I don't know, you're going to have to eat nuts or something, walnuts. I recommend at least eat eggs. One of the things I'm going to be doing after I get down to my 65 kilos, I'm going to go on a strict egg diet just to prove that you can do it. Now, I've gone 2 21-day fasts before. I did a 21-day fast when I was 15 years old, and I did a 21-day fast here, 2 years ago, baby? About a year and a half, 2 years ago, I did a 21-day fast, and it's not that hard. One of the things that you're going to find when you're on a real good carnivore diet and you're doing OMAD like I do, which I've done OMAD for over 3 years now, one meal a day. And sometimes I do alternate day fasting. I'm never going to go back to the long fast again because there's just no need for it. You start burning muscle mass. No, I don't want to do that. You got to have some muscle and you got to have energy if you're going to stick with a lifestyle that you enjoy. And so carnivore diet allows that. A keto diet allows that. A keto diet will help you to bring down your blood sugars and keep you in good shape. And the carnivore diet is going, because it's low fat, it's basically just meat. And so with meat, you're going to pretty much get all the vitamins you need, and you can kind of alternate. But I like to add some vegetables in my diet too. And so I do about half and half meat, half vegetables. I'm going to continue with that because it works. And I know I'm getting all my vitamins. Do what works for you. So I'm not, listen to your body and find what you love doing. And find something that's kind of a healthy balance. And I would say we're species specific. Our species has evolved eating meat. So good luck if you're a pure vegetarian, and good luck staying away from those carbs if you're strict vegetarian. So again, cut out the carbs, cut out the seed oils, and if you're on a keto diet, your blood sugars are going to fall. You're going to get rid of that metabolic syndrome that you have. You're going to get rid of the big gut. You're going to start burning fats, but again, you'll probably hit a plateau unless you go low fat. And so on that note, I'll let you go, and we'll talk a little bit about more on this later, on developing those motivating factors that help you push yourself past that threshold of indifference. And there's 5 motivating things. I'll mention them real quick here. There's autophilicity. There's an optimistic attitude, which I can teach you how to develop. There is autonomy. You got to have independence. You got to be able to do what you want to do. You got to have freedom. You got to have mastery, and you got to have purpose. And if you have those 5 things, you can motivate yourself to do anything. So on that note, namaste, and like and subscribe, please. Make these videos work for us so that we can help people do these transitions, because we really want to get out there and help the world become a better place. Yeah? Namaste.